Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome here to Houston, Texas, the site for some Southland Conference football between the Huskies and the Lumberjacks. Stephen F. Austin taking the trip down from Nacogdoches to take on the Huskies. A big game for the Lumberjacks, trying to keep their firm grasp on the number one spot in the Southland Conference. Nicholas Trubisky, Jackson Cochran up with you in the booth. Jackson, as we take a look at the Southland Conference standings, Huskies out of it, but for the Lumberjacks, an important game to keep up pace with Southeastern.
Very much so. Any game is important this late in the season for SFA. As you can see, number one and number two, Southeastern just right underneath them, both still undefeated in the Southland. But Lamar lost to UIW last week, and this is the big thing. We like chaos here in the Southland. You got to continue to keep this momentum and try to stay on top in the Southland.
Stephen F. Austin wins the toss, elects to defer. So we'll have to wait a series to see the Lumberjacks' key player, their quarterback, their main man, Sam Vidlak, an Applegate, Oregon native. What does he do to this offense, Jackson?
Well, he's a good guy. He's the third-ranked passer here in the Southland. He can stretch the field. As you can see by the numbers, he's thrown close to 1,900 yards on the season. 15 touchdowns, 6 INTs, not turn the ball over a lot. That's what you want to see for a guy that's leading your offense and getting everybody involved.
In the passing attack for the Huskies, their key player, Jerian Wallace, a career high in receptions and receiving yards. Last week in Thibodaux against Nichols, Jackson, Huskies are going to have to find him on some big third downs.
He's a 6'3" guy. One thing you want to see, he gets involved. He's got good, strong hands, good route runner, and ride the momentum of what happened last week. One of your best games of the season. Let's keep that going. Get the guy involved.
7 catches for 91 yards for Jerian Wallace last week. Lumberjacks set to kick it off. Huskies back deep to receive. Our keys to the game, you look at Jackson, what do both of these teams need to do?
Well, for SFA, as you can see, don't overcomplicate things. Stick to the game plan, stick to the script, execute. HCU, one of the things that they've had trouble this year, turning the ball over. Do not turn the ball over. You need to finish drives. You need to find the end zone. Field goals are not going to be enough to stay intact with this game this week.
Squib kick is taken by Keith Wheeler inside of his own goal line and able to squirm his way up past the 25 to the 27. That's where the Huskies will start first and 10. Huskies last week in Thibodaux, they played 3 different quarterbacks. In the last 2 seasons, HCU, they've played 7 different quarterbacks at one point or another. And out on the field in his first collegiate start for HCU is going to be Riley Garcia, who started the year as QB3.
Bit of a change of pace for the Huskies. I'm a little surprised to see him, but I want to see what he has in store for us today. Riley Garcia getting that start.
Garcia will hand it off to Edwards, who will slice his way up a big hit past the 30. And starting the tempo out early for the Lumberjack defense, Cameron Reddick. Pickup of 5. It'll make it 2nd and 5.
Yeah, that strong safety coming in hot, getting Jyshawn, as you can see right here. Nice handoff on the play. Gets the spin move on him, but then here he comes with the big hit.
And now Jyshawn Edwards swallowed up for a big loss. Jaden Souther, the first to arrive at the scene. As quickly as they got 5 yards, the Huskies lose 4, 3rd and 9.
One of the things that we know that the HCU Huskies like to do is establish the run, and right now, SFA, they're playing very tight. They are expecting that run. They don't think that they're going to let Garcia try to throw the ball on him today. They're stacking that box right now.
Mason Graham, the tight end, in motion. Garcia back to pass. Pressure comes quickly. Garcia able to escape out of it, and he'll go down for the first sack of the afternoon. Reddick once again making a big-time play.
Yeah, as you can see,
an early 3 and out for HCU.
Yeah, Reddick was right there in the box, able to get in there, and then Houston native getting the first sack for a 3 and out here. Not what you want to see if you're HCU to start things off.
Garcia pocket collapsing almost immediately. And it's not the first drive that you'd want if you're Riley Garcia in your first collegiate start here at HCU. Brady Young back to punt for the Huskies, a shield of 3, now 2 in front of the Perrysburg, Ohio native, as he'll send it spiraling high and over the head. Having to go back and make a grab on it was Bugs Mortimer, able to squeak by a few. Huskies had trouble in the return game against Southeastern. Mortimer inside the 20. He's going to take it into the end zone, but wait a minute. 3 flags on the field. This one might not stand at the end of the day. The farthest flag back at the Husky 43. As we'll hear from the officiating crew for the first time, Craig Hessler, the head official in the white hat. So we'll see what the penalty is, and more than likely it'll be on Stephen F. Austin. As how about that for Mortimer, having to track back and take it 75 yards.
The touchdown is good.
Yeah, it was
going to play. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 33, Houston Christian. Participated in his helmet. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
So the penalty's on HCU. It's on Logan Frederick. So without ever touching the field, the Lumberjacks lead it 7-0 with 12:48 left to play in the first quarter.
We're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see Sam Vidlak come out on the field.
We will. Carlos Alvarado on to try the extra point. 35 of 36 on the year. And the Huskies going to jump a little bit early. Ravante Blow going into the neutral zone. So now an interesting dilemma, Jackson. If it is on the Huskies, which it will be, do you maybe go for 2, or do you just keep the extra point team on and maybe just treat these 6 points as a free 6 points?
Oh, no, they're bringing the offense back out. They want to go for 2 here. You have 1 yard to get into the end zone. Why not? Take a chance. You saw how well your defense did on the first series against HCU. Let's let this offense get out there, see what they can do.
Jackson, do you think this is the correct call, basically just treating it as a free points really before your offense really is ever on the field?
Yeah, a little warm up here for the offense. Goal line stand. Going for 2 here. I like the call.
Gavin Rutherford, the backup quarterback, under center. Play action pass. Rutherford has an open man, flipping it wide open and catching it. Gerard Edemo for 2, and the Lumberjacks lead it 8-0 within the first few minutes of this game. An electric start for Stephen F. Austin and the Huskies, already scrambling, trying to find some answers.
And some things you don't see that often, going under center, little bootleg rollout and able to find his man right there. You find Edemo in the end zone, get the 2-point conversion, and SFA up 8-0.
However you want to phrase it, a free 8 points for the Lumberjacks without their offense ever having to come on the field. Bugs Mortimer, a big highlight play in the first quarter, and now the Huskies will get a second look at it on offense, trying to improve from their opening drive, 3 and out. Keith Wheeler, Zyshawn Edwards back deep to receive the kick for HCU. And the Lumberjacks, after the call on Logan Frederick, the long snapper on that punt return, will be kicking it off from the 50. And the Lumberjacks, maybe to even be more aggressive, do you squib kick it? Do you maybe try to onside kick it? Or do you just kick it out of the back of the end zone and just say, defense, go do your thing once more?
Well, I would say just go ahead and have your special teams go ahead and kick it. Let your defense get back on there, but you've already seen that your special teams is able to get points on the board. Let's see if you can actually recover something. That wouldn't be a surprise. They go for it with this short field here.
Alvarado will onside kick it, high kick, and falling on it is a blue jersey. That's Matthew Best, the backup cornerback, bringing out the hand. So they do continue to be ultra aggressive here. So we take another look at the onside kick from Alvarado. Not a bad onside kick,
no.
Just Matthew Best, right place, right time. And as a DB, you do drills, you do hands drills.
able to at least get your hands on it and fall down. Don't even try to recover. Don't even try to run with the ball. Just get down, give your offense a chance. Get out here. You have nice field position to start things off right at the 35.
Flag flies early, false start against HCU. Another penalty against the Huskies.
False start. Number 8. Offense. Penalty. First down.
That false start's on Jerian Wallace, our key player to watch, and the redshirt sophomore hasn't been able to do much within the first 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Riley Garcia last week did get time in the fourth quarter against Nichols. 2 of 6 for 6 yards, ran the ball 4 times for 8 yards. And so he'll hand it off to Zyshawn Edwards, who's absolutely swarming, brought down by a combination of Lumberjacks. Aaron Austin, the first to get there, and 3 rushes for Edwards. Tough sledding.
Yeah, you see Aaron Austin in there. Well, the thing about this Lumberjack defense, they have so many guys in the top 10 of tackles, sacks for the Southland Conference. They have a nice stack defense. Great linebackers who can get in there, not only with their D-line.
Not only that, HCU, a team that has struggled to pass. Lumberjacks loading up the box. Garcia floating it deep, looking for Deuce McMillan. Pass is caught inside the 45 at the 42. And right on cue, a reverse broadcaster's jinx. Garcia with his first completion of the afternoon.
Yeah, throwing off of and finding Deuce McMillan, contesting it against J.K. Moore. But I like the poise in the pocket there. I like the way that you're able to step up and get that pass and throwing the deep ball. Nothing wrong with that.
Garcia back to the air. Has the legs to scramble. Flag flies, won't matter. Garcia able to pick up 9. Looks like a hold's going to be coming back and making it even harder for the Huskies on first down once again.
4th penalty already today. They need to slow this down.
Holding. 73. Offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot.
But you did see a bit of a hold there on the route run from Deuce McMillan.
The hold is called on Nonzo Omezi, one of the more of the starters, the most experienced lineman at HCU. He's been here the last few years. So the Huskies put way behind the 6 now. 1st and 20. HCU needing a Lumberjack 33 for first down. 11:15 and counting down left to play, and that's a lot of movement before. It might be another penalty on HCU.
Start. 3. Offense. 5-yard. First down.
And that time the false starts on William Cook, the true freshman right tackle. So back-to-back penalties committed by the HCU offensive line.
Yeah, if you're Coach Bachtel, you are not going to be happy on that sideline with the amount of penalties. That's the 5th one already today.
5 penalties for 37 yards. Garcia tries to go read option, able to squirm forward for a pickup of 2. And not much more. Eli Fields, the one to bring down Garcia along with Kai Thomas.
Yeah, Kai Thomas in there to start things off. And then you also had the guy get there to finish. I like the way that this Lumberjack defense has been playing. They're not afraid to challenge the Huskies right now.
2nd and long. Garcia looking near side, through the air, stepping up in the pocket, taken down from behind. Another sack for the Lumberjack D-line. Xavier Potts, this time wrapping down Garcia. As already a bad day at the office for the HCU offensive line.
Yeah, Potts, I'm just saying, already the 2nd drive here for the Huskies. You got the penalties. Now you're 3rd in no man's land, 3rd in eternity right here. Not ideal.
Lumberjacks rush 3. Garcia stepping up, able to check it down. That one incomplete. Was looking for McMillan once again. Southard gets a hand in there as McMillan remaining on the ground inside of the Husky logo.
Timeout. Injury. Defense.
9:50 left to play in the first quarter. And
not ideal. You want to see McMillan out there on the ground. He's one of the top receivers, being a senior here for HCU.
We'll return here for Southland Conference football on ESPN+. Ten minutes left to play in the first quarter. Lumberjacks, who returned the last punt. This one high, and Mortimer will fair catch it at his own 24. So we'll get a real chance to see the Lumberjack offense for the first time here this afternoon. Sam Vidlak, one of our players to watch, just under 1,900 yards thrown this year. But it won't be Vidlak, it'll be Gavin Rutherford. So maybe Stephen F. Austin that confident that Rutherford can do a good job and maybe save Vidlak for some future games.
Yeah, a little out of the ordinary whenever you're expecting to see the number one guy come out.
Lumberjacks right up the middle for a carry of, we'll call it 4. Whole load of jerseys inside the pile. Lumberjacks work quick, 3 receivers near side. Huskies right there. Ravante Blow wrapping up Jarrell Wimbley at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 6.
Yeah, I like seeing Blow making his way through the line, able to get the tackle. Try to hold the second leading rusher of the Southland, Jarrell Wimbley, coming into today's game.
Rutherford on the year, 20 of 30 for 220 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception for the Katy, Texas native. Lumberjacks throw it high and incomplete. Rutherford looking for Kylan Harris over the middle. Zatique McGee, the closest person in any jersey to it. And on their opening drive, Huskies hold the Lumberjacks to 3 and out.
Well, the Huskies defense all season has played really well. It's the amount of trouble that the offense has been able to get things going, and your defense can only do so much to keep you involved in games. You have to be able to get points, which that's one thing that HCU's been able to struggle on this year, is getting those points on offense.
Last week in Thibodaux against Nichols, Huskies holding the Colonels to 3 and out on their opening drive. Sam Pfeiffer fair catches it at his own 22. And a nice flip of fields by the Lumberjacks. When we return, the Huskies back on offense here on ESPN+.
Union offers everything you need to get the most out of your accounts every day. With digital banking, you can pay bills online, set up personalized budgeting tools, easily transfer money between accounts, and more. Plus, you can get paid up to 2 days sooner when you set up direct deposit. Get started at cu1.com.
Welcome to Casati Pines at Coshada, nestled in the natural wetlands of southwest Louisiana on 65 acres of looking glass lakes, surrounded by stately pines and live oaks. It's an experience unlike any other. A challenging 18-hole par 72 championship course, 6 sets of tees, and a unique 19th tiebreaker hole. Ranked the 18th best golf course in the USA by Golf Advisor. Casati Pines at Coshada in Kinder, Louisiana. Louisiana's best bet.
It's brutal. So slow.
Good thing we brought Jersey Mike's. Is that Danny DeVito?
Don't worry about me. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's. And at Jersey Mike's, the subs matter most. Freshly sliced right in front of you. That's what matters here. Almost forgot. I found your ball.
It's a rock.
Where the subs matter most. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Credit Union One Free Checking has everything you need to bank on the go. Make deposits and more with our highly rated mobile app. And get your direct deposit up to 2 days sooner with CU1 Early Pay. Open your account in minutes at creditunion1.org.
HCU back on offense to get things started. Huskies struggling their last 2 drives, and the struggles continue. Another false start penalty against HCU.
False start. 77. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And this time it's on the starting left tackle, Jermarcus Bailey. So now only Scotty Parker, the starting center, and Ben Mohaled, the starting right guard, have not been penalized on the HCU O-line in the first quarter. The false starts continue as...
False start. 63. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Penalty number 7 for HCU, and almost all of them have been false starts. Is this a cadence thing, potentially, with a new quarterback coming in, running a different cadence?
I could see that, and not only that, you could see that SFA, they traveled really well today here. Maybe their crowd is getting involved. You like to have that crowd noise.
And another false start. And this is unheard of. Usually you false start on the road, not at home.
73. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Percy Jackson Lover left guard Omezi, as you would think it was a home game for the Lumberjacks based on the way they're acting on the sideline.
Very much so.
1st and 25, Huskies inside their own 10. Edwards will get maybe a yard. 8 penalties for 52 yards against the Huskies in just the first quarter alone. And not only that, now you're pinned deep. If you do end up punting it, it's going to set the Lumberjacks up in some very good field position.
And as you saw, Mortimer already went for one already today.
Quick throw from Garcia, caught by Mason Graham for pickup of, we'll call it 5. First catch of the afternoon for the tight end, as they'll make it 3rd and a little bit easier, but not by much.
Yeah, you don't really have too much of those 3rd and longs in your bag, especially trying to, but you can see that SFA is playing a little deep back, so they're expecting that pass. There's so many in the coverage, they're only going to be sitting in 3.
Lumberjack coverage basically in prevent defense, as it'll be a quick screen to Keith Wheeler. He'll do, Jerian Wallace. He'll do a bit of damage, but ultimately not anywhere near the first down marker. Huskies have to send out the punt unit once more.
And whenever you have that type of prevent defense, that you know that they're going to pretty much play those tight zones and no one's going to be able to try to find a crease anywhere. And they were begging HCU to go ahead and pass it. We're going to defend it. And that's what they did.
Now a flag will fly. This might be an illegal substitution against HCU based on where the flag was.
There's no foul of the player off the field. Fourth down.
So they pick up the flag. Just under 7 minutes to play in the quarter. Huskies punting for the third time here in the opening 15 minutes of this ball game. Mortimer back deep. He returned one earlier. Line drive kick from Young. And that one will take a favorable Husky bounce and bounce inside the 35 and down by Best at the 34. And that's where the Lumberjacks will start 1st and 10 with under 6.5 to play in the opening quarter. When we return, Lumberjacks look for their first offensive touchdown here on ESPN+. .6:28 left to play in the first quarter. Gavin Rutherford back out to quarterback for the Lumberjacks. A curious decision of maybe resting Sam Vidlak for the Lumberjacks game next week against Lamar. Quick screen goes out to Kylan Harris, who will stiff arm Tyron Chappell for an extra few yards. And the Huskies leader in interceptions, ushering the Lumberjack leader in both yards and receptions out of bounds.
Very unique decision, like you said, to go with Rutherford today. I'm curious to see how this is going to turn out for SFA. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Low snap. Rutherford looks deep, has a man. It's Harris, and pass is incomplete. Javen Anderson on the coverage for the Huskies. It went man coverage, and it paid off.
It was a nice throw there from Rutherford, but Javen Anderson playing tight, able to get involved, and good thing that he was able to turn his head and keep an eye on that ball so there wouldn't have been a pass interference call, because that's one thing the HCU does not need is any more penalties.
No, they do not. Rutherford, quick screen. Getting upfield and breaking out of a tackle for a first down is Blaine Green, an Allen, Texas native, and the Lumberjacks keep the drive alive.
And not only that, coming up in that route that Blaine ran, he was able to jump up and keep an eye on upfield, and the awareness of the sticks, that's one thing you like to see, getting those extra yards.
Wembley cuts upfield, makes a man miss, and brought down past the 45 of HCU. Anderson there once more. Wembley, a Houston native himself, making his presence known. Back-to-back first downs for the Lumberjacks as they continue to hurry it up. And now I think we'll have the first penalty against Stephen F. Austin here in the quarter.
False start, 71, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's on Robert Keller, the starting left tackle, a big man, 6'7", 306. So now for the first time today, Lumberjacks put behind the sticks. Wembley right up the heart of the HCU defense. He'll get 4 up to the Husky 45. As Darren Wianco loses his helmet, he'll have to come out of play.
Not only that, you also see number 74, Giovanni Algeria, losing his helm as well.
So 2 Lumberjacks losing their helmets on the same play. Not something you see every day. 2nd and 10 from the Husky 44. Rutherford looks one way, looks the other. All day. Rutherford eventually scrambling. 40, 35, 30. Rutherford still going and eventually brought down by Anderson inside the red zone at the Husky 18. And Rutherford, who had all day, deciding to do it himself.
Plenty of time in the pocket. As you can see, no one downfield. Rutherford goes ahead and takes it and gets a big first down here. I like the coverage downfield with the secondary for HCU, but you have to get some of those defensive linemen to put some pressure on Rutherford right now.
Sun goes behind the clouds. Wembley wrapped down by Trent Zappi after a gain of 3 out to the Husky 15. Wembley with his 5th carry of the afternoon. Rutherford 2 of 4, haven't seen much through the air other than the 2-point conversion that was completed. We'll see some now. Fade, end zone, has a man open, touchdown. Lumberjacks, Isaiah Davis wide open in the back of the end zone. And the Lumberjacks lead 14-0 with 3:20 left in the first quarter.
That was a nice touch on that pass here. Plenty of time in the pocket, as you can see, looking for the end zone wide open. And yeah, Isaiah Davis. Congratulations, son.
Isaiah Davis gets the Lumberjacks their first offensive touchdown of the afternoon. The 3rd on the year for the senior receiver. 15-0 the score on the bottom of your screen. Yes, you are reading that correct. Lumberjacks leading it by a couple possessions. Huskies looking for some answers. Jackson, what's your message on the sideline if you're any coach, offense, defense, anything? What are you saying on the sideline?
Well, what I've been seeing is with this SFA defense, they're not afraid to bring the heat, but I like the poise in the pocket with Riley Garcia. If you're going to pass, he's 3 for 4 so far today. Good completion percentage, 43 yards. I know one of those came from that screen on that huge 3rd down, but I like the way he's playing in the pocket. as you can see, SFA, they are trying to stop the run. They're begging you to pass. And if Garcia can get something going with this passing game, it could be maybe a little bit of a catch-up for HCU.
Lumberjacks sideline getting into it. As Jackson mentioned earlier, a good amount of purple and blue in the stands here today. Nacogdoches only a 2.5-hour drive south. And the Huskies will let that one go out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Huskies will take over 1st and 10 at their own 25. This is a Stephen F. Austin defense that last week against UTRGV held the Vaqueros to -1 on the ground in the opening quarter. Huskies on the day with 3 yards. So through this performance, a better showing from the Huskies, as maybe that does it there. Wrapped up way behind the backfield is DJ Evans. It's been a swarm of Lumberjacks in the backfield all throughout the first quarter.
With the way that they're scheming here, you're sending corners, you're sending safeties. They have good linebackers getting in the mix. They're not afraid. As you can see, they're stacking this box and trying to make this offensive line not know where they're going.
Free rusher off the edge. Garcia able to flip it to Evans to avoid the sack. DJ Evans out to the 25 and back to the original line of scrimmage.
Rule the field, the quarterback hits the ball forward, completed pass.
How about that, Garcia? Take a look, free rusher coming off the edge. I believe it was Caden Turner.
Yeah, able to at least get something out of nothing, trying to keep HCU in it on this drive.
8 at the line of scrimmage for Stephen F. Austin. Engage 8 for my Madden players. They back out. Garcia wants to go deep, one-on-one, looking for Finney. Pass is caught at the 43. A beautiful basket catch from Braylon Finney, and the Huskies move the chains.
Another big throw there of the day for Riley Garcia as he throws man coverage, able to connect. And that is something that you want to continue to see for the Huskies.
Evans able to get a few. Ball on the ground. Lumberjacks say they have it. They do. Flag back at the 12-yard line of Stephen F. Austin. It might not matter.
That's what we were talking about earlier, not turning the ball over. And Evans there on the run pops out. Great vision to dive at the ball as Evans.
Defense. 5-yard penalty, previous spot. Repeat.
So a penalty saving HCU.
That's a blessing.
Illegal substitution. Cameron Reddick, who's having a quarter to remember, knocking it out of the arms of DJ Evans. And the Huskies able to get some oxygen and start fresh on a 1st and 5 from the Stephen F. Austin 37.
You can see that Coach Carthel on the sideline was not happy about that at all.
Rusher comes off the edge. Edwards unable to get out of the grasp of Jaden Southard. Southard first in the Southland Conference and 6th in the FCS in tackles a game with 11.3 a game. He's made his presence felt in that HCU run game. Already a few tackles on the day so far.
Yeah, we're going to be saying his name quite a bit today. You're going to see number 6 in the mix a lot. I'll tell you that.
Garcia able to keep it on the read option. Plants his foot in the ground and dives forward for 3 extra yards. Looking a little like John Elway to pick up the first down, going with his head first. Not something you see every day in this day and age of football.
Not at all, but you want to get the first down. You want to keep this drive alive. You want to put some points on the board if you're HCU. And there you go, Garcia getting it done.
Under a minute to play in the opening quarter here from Houston, Texas. Garcia fakes the pitch, follows blockers forward, and picks up 5 to the Lumberjack 24. And this is something that we really haven't seen, a side of the HCU offense that hasn't come out, the quarterback run ability, as the Lumberjack down on the field.
Injury. Defense.
And that's not something you want to see. I believe it's Samaje Avery, freshman linebacker. But getting back to the thought, Jackson, the fake pitch, the quarterback keeper, something that the Huskies really have never done this year, able to add another dynamic to this offense and make it just a little bit harder to go up against.
Well, being here for a lot of HCU the last couple seasons, I've seen that you're right. They haven't had a mobile quarterback truly, not like that they had last year with Brick Handler. And now coming into today's game, this afternoon's game, you're seeing that you have some mobility coming from behind your center, and you're giving another element. And this is probably something that SFA wasn't expecting to come into today.
Lumberjacks lead at 15-0. Lumberjack 96 going off the field. So 2 players having to go off in this game. Deuce McMillan for the Huskies. Lumberjacks 96. As you see a couple of the jerseys for Stephen F. Austin, the ones where you just kind of throw them over and they don't have a nameplate. The famed, if for my memers out there who like memes, the Georgia Tech number 43 jersey of the punt returner.
Yep.
That looked like a dress. Kind of think that situation of sometimes if you want to get a player on the field that has the same number as someone, you just put on one and you rip them off real quick. Very ingenious thinking from equipment staffs across the country. Back to football, 2nd and 5. Huskies looking to get the red zone. Stretch to Edwards, able to pick up maybe 0, ushered out of bounds by Malachi Williams. See the Huskies trying to add in different aspects of their run game, outside zone concept there. Edwards unable to turn the corner. That'll do it for the first quarter here at Husky Field. Lumberjacks lead it 15-0. Huskies facing a 3rd and 6 when we return here for Southland Conference football on ESPN+. start of the second quarter here at Husky Field. And the Huskies within striking distance. Garcia faking the pitch, and that time swarmed by 4 white jerseys. Kai Thomas and a couple other Lumberjacks getting in and on the action. The same fake pitch, kind of almost quarterback option we saw be successful late in the first quarter for HCU.
I was expecting to see the field goal unit. They were keeping the offense out there quite a bit. I'm surprised that it was taking them that long to make the decision to go ahead and get the points.
It will not be Charlie Weinrich out to kick. It'll be Ryan Zuckert, the true freshman out of Colleyville, Texas, a 45-yarder to cut the lead to 12. Snap back, hold down, kick on the way, and good. And the Huskies score their first points of the game, and it's a freshman kicker bringing the leg. 15-3. Kind of like a high-scoring, one-sided baseball game here if you were to just look at the scoreboard.
Very much so, but I do like the fact that you're finally able to get some points on the board there for HCU. You had a nice drive, unable to convert there on third down while you're in the Lumberjacks territory, but that little bit right there can show that this offense isn't just going to continue to run the ball. They've been able to actually use the passing attack, which is, and we were talking about in the break, if you look at where HCU has been over the season, usually it's flipped the script on the yardage. It's usually not as many pass yards compared to rushing yards, and right now they have more passing yards than they do rushing yards.
In addition to that, some place that the Huskies have struggled is in making field goals. Weinrich on the year 4 of 11, and Ryan Zuckert comes in as a true freshman, makes his first career field goal. Congratulations to the young man on his first career college field goal. Weinrich still will handle kickoff duties for HCU here in this contest. 2-possession game. The first time the Huskies have had to kick it off all day, high and shallow, right at the goal line. Huskies trying to make a play and making it inside the 15 for HCU. Josiah Stroud, one of the gunners for HCU, making his way down in a big tackle to set up a long field for the Lumberjacks.
He had the speed to get down there. He was able to continue to run in his lane, and risky trying to take it out of the end zone, but going for the legs, able to get that shoestring tackle. And you can see the excitement right there from Stroud.
Stroud, another true freshman, having his impact heard here on the game. Wembley outside zone, being chased by a couple of Huskies. Ushered out of bounds by Theo Georges and Matai Thomas. Looks like we had a couple stragglers go down. Always a dangerous sight if you're on the sidelines and not in a uniform. Even if you are in a uniform, it's dangerous. That's actually Kylan Harris who got the end around sweep, and back to the ground goes Stephen F. Austin once more.
What SFA is doing is playing with a little tempo here, not allowing a lot of substitutions to be made. Got to see what the scheme will be here for HCU as they are pretty much stacking the line.
Jalen Jenkins, the running back, with his first carry on the last play, still in the game. We'll see if he stays in the game after the penalty.
False start, 69. 5-yard penalty.
So another false start, and this is a penalty that now the officials have really called for both sides. No 69 on the Stephen F. Austin roster, so 3rd and 5 moves to a 3rd and 10. Harris on the bubble motion, under pressure, has to flip it, and the HCU all over it. Thomas once again in on the play along with Michael Silvali. 3 and out for the Stephen F. Austin offense.
And that's what you like to see there for HCU. You were able to get the 3 and out here. You had them pretty back. You had them deeper than they have been all day. And now, let's see what your special teams can do if you can get a nice return here on the punt.
Punting from his own end zone is Lachie Pazoban, the Australian. Spiraling punt. Pfeiffer takes it from his own 35 and has to go east and west. Nothing there north. And the Huskies start with it inside on their own 35. Not bad starting field position to start off with if you're HCU. Husky offense looking to score points on back-to-back drives when we return here on ESPN+.
Shaped around you. And you. And you. Because customizing treatments and using breakthrough techniques is how your comeback starts. Like 3D printing for ultra-precise joint replacements and providing the same specialty care as we do for the Houston Rockets. So you return sooner, stronger, better. This is orthopedic care designed for you. Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care.
Do you enjoy college sports? The athletes, the excitement, the competition? Protect it. Don't lose the excitement of national competition. Don't jeopardize women's sports and Olympic sports. Make sure your favorite athletes continue to enjoy the many important benefits provided to them, and ensure that we preserve and standardize name, image, and likeness rights. Tell Congress to pass the SCORE Act at passthescoreact.com.
Our orthopedic care is shaped around you. And you. And you. Because customizing treatments and using breakthrough techniques is how your comeback starts. Like 3D printing for ultra-precise joint replacements and providing the same specialty care as we do for the Houston Rockets. So you return sooner, stronger, better. This is orthopedic care designed for you. Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care.
At Houston Christian University, I found friendship.
I found excellence. I found a community brought together by worship.
I found more than answers. I found wisdom.
I found truth and my true calling. In all we do here, we find God.
And a path to our future in all we do.
12-10 left to play in the opening half. Huskies trail by 12. High snap over the head of Garcia, and the Husky quarterback just has to fall on it at his own 16-yard line. Scotty Parker's snap sailing way over the head of Garcia.
When you're coming in with a alternate quarterback, you got to get a little bit of those reps in, and that's unfortunate. That's the one thing you do not need if you're HCU right now.
Garcia 6'4", and Maddox Kopp, the taller of the three quarterbacks who have played this year, at 6'5". I think no matter who was out there, it would have been over the head. Garcia stepping up in the pocket, feels the pressure. Scrambles near side, able to keep his feet in and nearly throwing an interception, was trying to dump it off to Zyshawn Edwards.
But what I liked there from Garcia, able to step up in the pocket, able to get out of the pressure. He had a hand on his shoulder pad, but still looking downfield, little off tempo. Everything's kind of changing routes, looking for someone on the run. Just saved an interception right there. I'm just saying.
3rd and 28. Three receivers. McMillan on the screen. McMillan up to the 20 and a pickup of 3, laying the wood on McMillan there for the hit. J.K. Moore. And the Huskies will not score on back-to-back drives. They'll send out the punt unit, just as Stephen F. Austin did a few minutes ago.
Whenever you had that high snap to start things off, you pretty much pin yourself back so far that you only had 2 plays to try to get a first down, and that is not ideal at all.
Young to punt. Lumberjacks will only send 2 to try to block it. Young's punt high, spiraling back. Caught inside the 30, able to work his way up near midfield. Once again is Mortimer, who had the game's opening touchdown on his first punt return. Lumberjacks on offense when we return here on ESPN+. Conference football here on ESPN+. Lumberjacks lead at 15-3 with 10.5 left to play in the second quarter. Rutherford continuing to quarterback for the visitors. Play action pass, Rutherford wants it deep, and that is incomplete. Hitting off the back of Tyron Chappell, was looking for a deep shot at Elijah Fields. Or, excuse me, Derek Bowler.
Well, at least while he did hit Tyron Chappell, no need for any type of penalty on that one. You got to get your head turned around whenever you're going down there.
Some movement pre-snap, and it's going to work out to perfection for Stephen F. Austin. Nori Johnson dragging down Richard Reese after the senior picks up a big first down for the Lumberjacks.
I like them going opposite field here on the run, able to get the handoff over there to Reese, able to turn the corner, get the first down.
Reese back to the ground, up the middle, past the 35 to the 34 of HCU, a pickup of 5. And now Stephen F. Austin back to the tempo offense. 2 receivers stacked at the top and bottom of your screen. Rutherford changing the play. Play action. Rutherford, patient, waiting deep. Pass is caught on the back shoulder route. Isaiah Davis.
That was a nice catch there from Isaiah Davis. As you're right, the back shoulder catch, able to contort his way as they are still playing with that tempo a little bit, trying to make some substitutions quickly.
The really previous play is up.
So the refs are going to say, let's take another look at that to make sure Davis got his foot down inbounds. A reminder, you only need 1 foot down in college, not in the NFL where you need 2. So you take a look at it here. Rutherford, a great job staying patient, waiting for the route to develop. And from that angle, it looks clear. We don't have a cam down that side, so.
Well, from our vantage point that we're right here near sideline, especially closer to the south end zone, I thought that it was a clear catch too, unless there was some bobbling as he was going out of bounds. But at least he had the one hand. I mean, they had the 1 foot down. That's where I assumed that everything was A-okay on that reception.
Isaiah Davis making his presence known for Stephen F. Austin. Had a season-high 3 receptions in the Lumberjacks' Week 10 win against UTRGV. Already has 2 receptions on the day here, as this is probably the best look we'll get here. Davis, the foot inbounds, and maybe do they try to look for a bobble? Like you said, Jackson, I think that's the only thing that would maybe make it an incomplete, as if he didn't have possession.
But while he was coming down with it, he was coming in to cradle it. Like, he already had it in his hands. You're pretty much trying to secure it down. I would say that is a clear catch.
Craig Hessler has his decision.
After you really feel the catch is uphill.
So the call stands, 1st and 10 Lumberjacks inside the red zone at the Husky 17-yard line.
Want to make it a little exciting for us up here.
Yeah, you have to draw out the suspense, just some. Have to make it entertaining. This is an entertainment business after all, sports. Can you sing, Jackson?
Oh, yes.
Figures. You're a talented man. 1st and 10. 2 receivers top of your screen, 2 running backs to the left and right of Rutherford. Kylan Harris to the right. Harris on the wheel route. They look his way, and that is caught. Touchdown, Lumberjacks. Kylan Harris with the 2nd reception touchdown for Gavin Rutherford. And the Lumberjack lead increases 21-3, point after, still to try.
And whenever you have an offensive line like this that give you clean pockets, Kylan Harris, as you were saying, on the wheel route, able to get back there into the end zone. Nice reception, nice touchdown. SFA getting it done offensively, defensively, and special teams.
Felt like Clay Matthews there. It's the wheel route. Point after try. There's a flag down. Point after is good. We'll see if this is going to make it harder for Stephen F. Austin or potentially no change, and it looks like it's going to be against HCU. Lumberjacks kicking unit heading off the field. Husky defense, though, staying on the field.
Well, they might do what they did earlier, go for it if it is on HCU and it's going to move them up.
1. That penalty decline. The try is good.
So offside. Try is good. 22-3 with under 9 minutes to play in the 2nd quarter. Husky defense struggling against the deeper route concepts. We've seen Stephen F. Austin be quite successful. That time the wheel route with Kylan Harris, the pass touchdown to Isaiah Davis on the fade. Husky defense, this has been one of the better groups for HCU, has been their DB unit, has been their cornerbacks, Tyron Chappell, DJ Roberts, to name a few. They're struggling today against a passing attack of Stephen F. Austin, who is being led by their backup quarterback, who surprisingly started today for them.
Well, the other thing that's been hurting is the fact that your defensive line and some of your linebackers aren't putting pressure on Rutherford. And while you're given plenty of time, you're going to let these routes develop, and that's what's been going on for SFA.
Jacob Hand sends it end over end. Zyshawn Edwards catches it at his own 10 and unable to get out of the wrap of Chance Sauter. Huskies start with it inside their own 20, 1st and 10. A chance, though, for HCU to maybe get some points on the board and cut the lead down to 12 once more. Garcia, 6 of 8, 84 yards on the day so far. Huskies in total, -6 on the ground. If it's going to come for HCU, it's probably going to be through the air until further notice.
And what we've been seeing is SFA has been stacking the box, expecting the run.
Garcia climbs the pocket. Head down first, another John Elway-like slide.
Not only that, pointing, pick up the block right there. I'm coming for him.
He's trying to tell Edwards to, hey, get that guy. Edwards unable to get there in time, but pick up a 4 on 1st and 10, brings up 2nd and 6. Edwards up the seam and nearly shooting out of a cannon. Flag flies late. Jalen Southard might be called for a horse collar depending on how they spot it. Ed Bobineau III also in on the play, so we'll see if there is a penalty first and foremost. As the officials are
on the play. Tackle is legal.
So they do pick up the flag, and Bobineau saving a potential 20-plus yard play, as he was the last man to get his arms in front of Edwards.
And we've seen those styles of runs with Edwards a lot this season. That's why he's the leading rusher in the Southland, but saving a big-time rush.
Garcia wants to go deep, brought down from behind. Blind side sack, Tim Mohammed. And that'll halt the Husky drive emphatically.
Tim Mohammed coming off the edge, able to get his way back in, coming up, able to get Garcia as he was stepping up in the pocket, looking downfield. But yes, 6'4", Dallas native, outside linebacker.
Lumberjacks, 25 sacks on the year coming into this contest. SFA now 2 in the first half. That number moves up to 25 as Young's punt, line drive, knuckling back, and Mortimer will catch it heading out into the HCU sideline around his own 32 with 7:14 left in the second quarter. When we return, Lumberjacks look to add insult to injury here on ESPN+.
Orthopedic care is shaped around you. And you. And you. Because customizing treatments and using breakthrough techniques is how your comeback starts. Like 3D printing for ultra-precise joint replacements and providing the same specialty care as we do for the Houston Rockets. So you return sooner, stronger, better. This is orthopedic care designed for you. Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care.
Do you enjoy college sports? The athletes, the excitement, the competition? Protect it. Don't lose the excitement of national competition. Don't jeopardize women's sports and Olympic sports. Make sure your favorite athletes continue to enjoy the many important benefits provided to them, and ensure that we preserve and standardize name, image, and likeness rights. Tell Congress to pass the SCORE Act at passthescoreact.com.
Our orthopedic care is shaped around you. And you. And you. Because customizing treatments and using breakthrough techniques is how your comeback starts. Like 3D printing for ultra-precise joint replacements and providing the same specialty care as we do for the Houston Rockets. So you return sooner, stronger, better. This is orthopedic care designed for you. Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care.
At Houston Christian University, I found friendship.
I found excellence. I found a community brought together by worship.
I found more than answers. I found wisdom.
I found truth and my true calling. In all we do here, we find God.
And a path to our future in all we do.
The Lumberjacks lead it by 19 here in the second quarter, and looking to do a little bit more damage. Lumberjacks to the ground. Wembley wrapped up at the 35, a pickup of 3. Jarrell Wembley on the year has 3 games of 100 or more yards. Him and Zyshawn Edwards heading into this game, 2 of the better backs statistically in the Southland Conference. Play action pass. Rutherford, deep ball, has a man, incomplete. Was looking for Clayton Wayland. Jaden King on the coverage for HCU, and it brings up a 3rd and long.
Wayland with that go route, able to find and get a nice step on it, but unable to bring it down. He had his hands on it. Rutherford, I'm liking the way that he's been able to throw the ball today.
Wembley outside zone, wrapped up at the line of scrimmage by a wall of blue. Rodney Dansby with his first tackle on the day. And the Lumberjacks, with 6.5 left in the half, decide to punt it away.
Good thing for the HCU defense, able to get the stop here. You have plenty of time left here in the half. Try to at least get downfield. Maybe you can get a good return on punt. Need to see something out of that HCU offense. Need to get something going.
Sam Pfeiffer back deep to receive the punt, heels at his own 18. Pazoban sends it spiraling. Pfeiffer lets it bounce a couple times before taking it. Heading towards the HCU sideline, able to cut back up. Pfeiffer has some space, taken down past the 35 at the 37 by McCallie McKellar. A pretty solid return from the senior punt returner.
And with that bounce and him able to try to get back upfield, found a nice little lane there and get a good return to start things off and see you're not pinned back deep as you have been most of the day here for HCU. A lot of field behind you, nothing to be scared of, trying to get pushed into that end zone. Let's get something going here.
1st and 10. False start once more on HCU.
False start.
Well, we won't hear what number it was against, but it was a false start penalty nonetheless. As you see a shifting around in the HCU offensive line. Ben Mohaled out at right tackle, Jaden Edmondson at right guard, and William Cook out to left tackle. First and 15, Edwards up the middle, gets to 35, 36 after second effort. Able to nearly get back what the Huskies lost with the penalty.
And what you can see with the SFA defense, they're doing these line shifts and trying to get this HCU offensive line to guess. As you can see, there was a bit of a delay before the play even called. Garcia able to change some things at the line.
Garcia in the pocket, trying to climb and reaching it out. Ball goes down, and both officials say that he was down. A loss of 1 for Garcia. Scotty Parker, starting HCU center, hobbling a little bit after that play. Southern wanted to take it into the end zone.
Not a lot downfield as Garcia was looking through his route progressions, looking for a receiver, stepped up. And it's very unfortunate that it's another 3rd and long here for the Huskies.
Garcia, pressure comes, gets out of it. Garcia wants a man to go upfield. He has it, it's intercepted right at midfield. Jalen Mayo able to sneak in front of Keith Wheeler. And it sets the Lumberjacks up in great field position right at the 50 with 4:24 left to play.
And as you can see, the offensive line having trouble with protecting. Garcia rolls and then on the run underthrows, and Mayo
Previous play is under review.
If it stands, I believe this will be his 3rd interception on the season.
Refs will look at it. 22-3, Stephen F. Austin leads, and they're going to try to make good on this interception. Jalen Mayo, one of the better cornerbacks in the Southland Conference, along with Charles Demings. Garcia, through the day until that play, really hasn't made too many mistakes. So they're going to look for is, did the ball hit the ground? Garcia gets out of the pressure, and it looks like Mayo may have gotten his arm under it. But that's what the refs are going to look for, is to see if any part of that ball hit the turf.
And the problem is you see those turf bits jump up as he's also coming down with it. That can make you second guess if he did or did not have possession. But by the looks of it, I believe he had it.
We're going to look at it once more. Take your best guess if you're at home. Jalen Mayo, 2 interceptions, would be his 3rd, as Jackson mentioned earlier, if it does stand.
After review, the rule in the field of interception is upheld. First down.
Remains an interception. Riley Garcia throwing his first interception in Husky blue. And he'll set up the Lumberjacks right at midfield. Plenty of time to tack on some more points. Lumberjacks won the toss, elected to defer until the second half, so a chance to really run down the clock, score, and then get the ball back again to start the second half. Handoff goes to the backup, Jalen Jenkins. TJ Smith, the freshman, wrapping up the junior after a pickup of 5.
Right here, if you're SFA, like you're saying, eat up some clock, try to run it up a little bit more going into the half. Ooh!
Rutherford fumbles it, able to make something out of nothing and pick up a first down. Taken down by Rodney Dansby.
Recovered by the quarterback.
I think that was designed in the playbook.
Yeah, I don't think that one was on the play sheet of OC Chris Ross.
It just slipped out of his hand as he was moving forward.
Rutherford, middle of the field, pass is caught right up the seam by Edemo for a Lumberjack first down, and Stephen F. Austin not wasting any time trying to put more points on the board.
Edemo had the 2-point conversion earlier, getting involved yet again.
Jenkins following his blockers. Wrapped up after a gain of 3. SFA inside the 10. And now maybe this is where you see the Lumberjacks take up just a little bit more time.
Yeah, they were playing with the tempo and now slowing things down. If you're going to continue to, why wouldn't you continue to keep up with that tempo if you want to get points on the board again?
Each team still with 3 timeouts. Jenkins right up the middle, inside the 5 to the 4, and enough for a Lumberjack first down.
And if you're Jenkins, you're going to take those all day. Easy enough, getting through the line, in between the tackles, following your blocks. Great vision.
That's not what you want to see if you're an HCU fan. Rodney Dansby, the Huskies' leading tackler with over 400 career tackles at HCU, down at the 5. And that would be a big loss for the Huskies. Dansby, he's had a pick 6 here at Husky Field, back against Northern Colorado. He comes off the edge, he fills the gap up the middle. A local Houston product playing for his hometown Huskies, and if it's a loss for HCU, it's a big one.
Yeah, Dansby's been with this program for quite a while now, and that is something you really don't want to see at all if you're this Husky sideline.
Dansby walking off under his own power. So it'll be Trent Zappi and TJ Smith, the 2 in at linebacker for HCU. And Stephen F. Austin, tight formation. And it looks like the Lumberjacks are going to drain the clock until the 2-minute warning. Direct snap to Wembley. Huskies stop them short, and that'll bring up the 2-minute warning. 2nd and goal when we return here for Southland Conference football on ESPN+. Half between the Lumberjacks and the Huskies. Stephen F. Austin looking to score once more. Only one receiver, 2 tight end set. Handoff to Wembley, and he'll be wrapped up at the 3. Zaytik McGee and Marcus Moore in on the tackle for the Huskies.
They changed things up. They brought in JT Kitna under center for SFA.
3rd string quarterback and Bowling Green transfer. And Kitna will stay out there, maybe not wanting to risk injury for Gavin Rutherford. As Kitna will take it himself up the middle. Did he get over the goal line? Kitna thinks he did. Officials say he's short.
3rd down.
3rd and goal. Jason Bechtel is going to run down and call a timeout with 1:12 left. As Kitna really thought he had it. Let's see. You make the call at home. Play ref Kitna. It's a matter of where the knee got down and where the ball was. I see Vidlak there in a baseball cap. It looks like fully dressed for the Lumberjack leading passer. Is taking a back seat to Rutherford here this afternoon. Officials will not review the play, but the ball can't get any closer than that to the goal line. Lumberjacks with it 3rd and goal at the inch-yard line. Kitna stays out. Wembley, the running back. Everyone tight to the line of scrimmage. Wembley, direct snap. Did he get it? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Lumberjacks. Gerald Wembley with his 6th rushing touchdown of the season. And the Lumberjacks lead at 28-3 with 1:08 left in the second quarter.
Second time we saw that direct snap.
Take another look. Kitna, the trickery, the go behind, and a direct snap to Wembley, who has no trouble getting the 3 inches needed for 6 points. Alvarado to try the point after. Snap back, hold down, kick on the way, and good. 29-3. Lumberjacks lead it. Huskies with 2 timeouts and 1:08 to work with. Jackson, you got 1:08 left. You got 2 timeouts to work with. If you're HCU, are you going to continue to, maybe take a couple shots, be aggressive, or do you kind of just see what happens on the first play and go from there?
I'm going to say it's going to come what happens off the kick return. It depends on where you are with field position. If you're going to be inside the 20, just run down the clock with a couple handoffs and take it into the field house for halftime. If you get at least near the 35-40, that's whenever I would try to open things up and see if you can get some time in the pocket for Garcia, bouncing back off of the interception, and see if you can actually take a chance downfield. We've seen that he's thrown the deep ball a couple times today, and I like what I've seen so far if he has enough time in the pocket and can get downfield.
Lumberjacks booted away. And that one touches the blue in the end zone and goes out for a touchback. So no time taken off the clock. Huskies get it at their own 25. Mike Nesbitt, the HCU OC, telling all the blue jerseys in the huddle what he wants for this first play. Huskies 75 yards needed for a touchdown. HCU has made a field goal today, so potentially looking to get into field goal range. Garcia, quick throw, pass is caught by Kuntz. Kuntz nearly fumbling, able to hold on to it and pick up 11 for an HCU first down.
I like that. Go ahead and try to find a little bit of something downfield. Not only that, getting Kuntz involved.
See the bobble there right at the end, able to hold on to it.
It was scary. It was very scary. I'm not going to lie. That was a little scary.
Edwards up the middle, able to get out of a tackle and nearly pick up 10 before being wrapped down by a white jersey. 2nd and 2. And now Huskies go with a little tempo. 35 seconds left. Still 2 timeouts in the back pocket of Jason Bechtel. Garcia to the air, dumps it off. Edwards catches it right past the first down marker, and timeout 2 might be taken by HCU. Jason Bechtel by the line judge, as Garcia will spike it on 1st and 10 with 21 seconds left.
I'm a little surprised why you wouldn't go ahead and try to take the timeout right there instead of doing doing a quick spike, but if you can at least get yourself back into field goal range, try to get at least 3 more points on the board before half.
My only thought is it's 4-down territory, so first down really doesn't matter. Garcia under pressure, gets rid of it, passes caught on the sidelines by Jerian Wallace. Another Husky first down, as there's a flag in the back of the end zone. In the back of the play. Maybe for roughing the passer.
Personal foul. Low hit on the quarterback, number 6. 15-yard penalty at the end of the play. First down.
So 15 yards added to the 11-yard pitch and catch from Garcia to Jerian Wallace. And now HCU in field goal position as Southard's going to plead his case that wasn't low and I was doing my job. 15 seconds left, Huskies wanting end zone. Garcia looks deep, throws deep, looking, and that one is thrown out of bounds, and 2 flags fly out. Charles Demings going to be nipped with a PI call.
Well, that's one way to not let the receiver catch the ball.
That is certainly a way. It's something that I wouldn't suggest for any young defensive backs out there looking for what to do good. Both flags came out almost immediately. And now the Huskies.
Pass interference, number 1 defense. Ball he played to spot the foul. First down.
Huskies in the red zone, and Demings, one of the better cornerbacks in the Southland Conference, was recently invited to the East-West Shrine Bowl. I don't think they can or uninvite, but Demings, a big mistake. 1st and 10, Garcia flushed out of the pocket. Has to throw it incomplete to keep the clock stopped. Finney, the nearest Husky receiver to it, 7 seconds left. 2 timeouts for HCU.
And yet Kai Thomas coming in on the edge right there, putting the pressure on Garcia. I was hoping that you'd probably try to get Kyle Kuntz back involved. There was a nice space if he just kept on the seam instead of going for a bit of that post route. I think you probably could have had a wide open man in the end zone.
Timeout taken by Stephen F. Austin, their first of the half, as they were going to take some timeouts here down the final couple seconds to match what HCU is going to play. A smart timeout, would you say, from Stephen F. Austin head coach Colby Carthel?
This is going to be one of the final chances, at least, of the half for HCU. If you can't score the touchdown here, you just go ahead and kick the field goal, take the points. But you know that you want to be aggressive and try to get this touchdown. But I'm more of the guy who just go ahead and take the points. If you can get it, just one more play. Don't let the clock hit 0.
Neither team going on for a 4th down try yet. We probably won't see it here. Huskies well within field goal range. Three receivers, top of your screen. Garcia has to get rid of it quickly. Fade route looking for Wallace, and that's intercepted by Demings, making up for his error. And that'll do it for the first half. 3 seconds left. And a near identical end to the half that the Huskies had last week in Thibodaux. That was ended by an interception. And Wallace slipping, getting taken out by the turf monster.
Yeah, we just saw as the replay finished up, Wallace did slip. And then you have Demings, one of the lead interceptors of this SFA defense. He's at least in the top 15 of the Southland with interceptions. Go ahead and add another statistic to your stat sheet for the season.
Demings with 3 interceptions on the year. Lumberjacks take a knee, and that'll do it for the first half of action here from Husky Stadium. Lumberjacks 29, Huskies 3. Coming up at the halftime report, we'll go over the highlights, the stats, and everything else that could lie ahead when we return here for Southland Conference football on ESPN+. Everyone to Southland Conference football here on ESPN Plus. Lumberjacks leading the Huskies 29-3 at the half as we take a look at the highlights from the first half.
Well, right here, starting things off, Garcia able to get a nice throw over there to Deuce McMillan. You see that they're throwing the deep ball today, and then you have the little trickeration trying to be denied the sack. Little pitch to DJ Evans, getting something out of nothing. And then next up, we have the big pass over to Finney on the sideline. And then obviously we're going to finish off with the field goal for the only points for HCU on the day. Now we're going to get to see what this Lumberjacks offense and special teams and defense has been doing, especially Mortimer right here, starting things off, getting the score early off of the first punt of the game. And then Mortimer finding the house. Then, as you can see, Axenham left and right. This defense for SFA making some hits. And then, not only that, you see the early pass over to Harris. Nice in the end zone with that fade. And then you see Rutherford yet again looking for Davis as Davis gets in the end zone. It's been all SFA today.
It has been a lot of Lumberjacks. We take a look at the first half stats. Lumberjacks a lot more of a balanced attack. Huskies, though, more passing yards, but that's really all they've been able to do with how good the Stephen F. Austin run defense has been.
Not only that, the thing that has hurt them a lot, especially in the first quarter, I'm circling up here, is those penalties. You had so many false starts early because probably you're trying things new with a different quarterback. With Riley Garcia, the cadence has to be off, and those false starts were hurting them bad.
8 penalties for 52 yards in the first quarter. So only 1 penalty for 5 yards in the second quarter. A much more disciplined effort from HCU in the second quarter. When we return, Jackson and I will discuss what comes next for both of these teams here on ESPN Plus. And the HCU Athletic Department would like to thank JLL and 1989 grad Mark Nicholas for their generous sponsorship of HCU football across our broadcast platforms, ESPN Plus, and on KYST 920 AM. JLL, a global commercial real estate services company with offices in over 80 countries, offers investment management services worldwide, including services to institutional and retail investors. Mr. Nicholas, the executive VP and managing partner of the Houston office, brings a wealth of experience to the table. Since 1989, Mark has successfully negotiated over $4 billion in transactions for buyers, sellers, landlords, and tenants. With degrees in business management, marketing, and finance from HCU, Mr. Nicholas was an NCAA Division I varsity tennis athlete during his undergraduate days and continues to support HCU today. For over 200 years, the folks at JLL have relied on the fact that their global reach and extensive industry expertise sets them apart. As they look into the future, they continue to believe in the power of real estate to shape a better world. A lot more to talk about when we return here for Southland Conference football on ESPN Plus. Football here on ESPN Plus. Lumberjacks in firm control in this one after one half as we take a look at what's ahead for the Lumberjacks in their final 2 games of Southland Conference play. The big one next week home against Lamar. That one could potentially decide who wins the Southland Conference. Lamar playing Southeastern in a battle for the number 2. So if Lamar beats Southeastern, that's a showdown for who's going to win the Southland Conference and get the auto bid into the FCS playoffs. You wrap it up with probably the easiest game on the schedule coming into the year against Northwestern State in Natchitoches. For the Huskies, they are on the road next week up in Commerce taking on the Lions, and then the home finale against UIW the 22nd. That was a game that HC was looking at that could potentially be their game to shock the world, maybe upsetting the preseason favorite to win the Southland Conference. Cardinals, their season kind of spiraled downward, as did HCU kind of at the same time. So both teams playing for pride on the 22nd, playing maybe it's audition time for not only next season, but also for other teams to get film. The transfer portal moving to just one window after the holiday. Jackson, we know what's at stake for Stephen F. Austin, but for HCU, what can you take from these last 2 games?
For the last 2 games, obviously I'm in favor of what I've been seeing today from Riley Garcia. Taking a chance right here, you're giving them some reps, and yeah, one of the interceptions late, that looked like it was more on him, but the earlier interception that he's thrown, I wouldn't really give him too much of the fault on that one. And while you can see the turnovers aren't ideal for you, but he's been throwing the ball. He's already thrown for over 100 yards today. The only thing that has been hurting him are the 2 interceptions, but I like the poise in the pocket. I like the arm strength, throwing downfield. Everything I've seen out of him so far, I like.
When we return, both teams look ahead to the second half here on ESPN+. Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half between the Huskies and the Lumberjacks. HCU trailing 29-3. Both teams ready and warmed up to start the second half of action here at Husky Stadium. Stephen F. Austin won the toss and elected to defer until the second half. So they will receive the opening kickoff here in half number 2. Lumberjacks already with the special teams touchdown today with the big punt return. And the last time the Huskies were at home against Southeastern, they struggled against the punt and the kick return. Lions almost had one of each. They returned the second half kickoff for a touchdown. In today's game, the Lumberjacks returning their first punt for a touchdown. So we'll see how the Lumberjacks do to start half 2. Weinrich kicks it deep, and that one will be fair caught, and not really even fair caught, just let it go out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, just a good bounce out of the back of the end zone. But you're right. HCU, they have struggled a lot on special teams this year, and lucky enough, you can at least have it be a touchback instead of making a returnable kick.
Big lights turned on here at Husky Stadium for the second half. Sun due to set just about towards the end of the game. Rutherford on first down passes it. Trent Zappi helping to wrap up along with Tyron Chappell. Green with his second catch of the night.
And the one thing that we saw before the half, you had third-string quarterback Kitna come in, but now we see that Rutherford is back taking the snaps for SFA.
Wembley wrapped up at the 30 after a pickup of 1. Rodney Dansby back out and making plays for HCU.
And you like to see Dansby back out there. I know we did see him come off late in the second quarter. It's good to see him back out there. He's one of those heart and prides of the HCU defense.
Play action pass. Rutherford under pressure. Rutherford able to squeeze out of 2 sacks. Rutherford slides first down Lumberjacks.
And while the secondary was playing great, not having anything for Rutherford to find downfield, as you can see, not a lot of the pressure. The pocket does collapse. Dansby and Zappi both missed tackles, and Rutherford able to get it done with his legs.
Flag flies pre-snap.
61, offense.
False start's going to be on the starting right guard, Jason Crowder, a native of Argyle, Texas. Seems like just about everyone on both sides of the offensive line has been called for either a hold or a false start, mainly, though, a false start here in today's game.
Well, Thanksgiving's coming. You got to be generous. You got to be thankful.
O-line being very generous on both sides of the ball. Rutherford has to scramble out. Flag flies, and Rutherford ushered out by Sean Dubose and Jaquarius McClendon. Could this be the Lumberjacks being generous once again? Flag back at the Stephen F. Austin 30. So in the first quarter, it was HCU's offensive line with back-to-back-to-back penalties. Lumberjacks now with back-to-back penalties. And now over 100 penalty yards total combined between the two sides.
It's a bit out of the norm for SFA right now with the penalties to start things off here in the second half.
Rutherford's quick passes dropped by Kylan Harris, who had a touchdown earlier in the second quarter. 2nd and 25. Lumberjacks need their own 49 for a first down. Rutherford Hands it off to Wembley. Wembley being wrapped up from behind by Sean Dubose Jr. The Katy, Texas native had to go a long couple yards to make the tackle.
Not only that, yeah, he was able to come around the line and still follow him, putting the burners on for the tackle.
Rutherford looking deep. Pass is caught by Green, short of the first down marker by about 5 yards. And now Stephen F. Austin will send out the punt unit, but a much better spot to punt from than before.
And there you go, still clean pocket all day that they've been having. A little out of reach, but able to extend, get the catch, and still keep your feet in bounds right there for Green.
4th and 6. Pazoban averaging just over 40 yards a punt on the season. Punt high. Pfeiffer calls for the fair catch at his own 19, and that's where the Husky offense will start. 1st and 10. Garcia back out to quarterback when we return here on ESPN+.
Credit Union One offers everything you need to get the most out of your accounts every day. With digital banking, you can pay bills online, set up personalized budgeting tools, easily transfer money between accounts, and more. Plus, you can get paid up to 2 days sooner when you set up direct deposit. Get started at cu1.com.
Welcome to Casati Pines at Coshada, nestled in the natural wetlands of southwest Louisiana on 65 acres of looking glass lakes, surrounded by stately pines and live oaks. It's an experience unlike any other. A challenging 18-hole par 72 championship course, 6 sets of tees, and a unique 19th tiebreaker hole. Ranked the 18th best golf course in the USA by Golf Advisor. Casati Pines at Coshada in Kinder, Louisiana. Louisiana's best bet.
Yeah.
Glad we got Jersey Mike's for the game.
Wait, does our mascot look like Danny DeVito to you?
Yeah, it does. That doesn't matter. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's, where the subs matter most. Freshly sliced right in front of you. That's what they're all about.
You on the cheer squad?
And up to see Daisy. Yeah!
Ooh.
Oh, don't worry about me. Focus on those subs. Where the subs matter most. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Credit Union One Free Checking has everything you need to bank on the go. Make deposits and more with our highly rated mobile app. And get your direct deposit up to 2 days sooner with CU1 Early Pay. Open your account in minutes at creditunion1.org.
Husky offense on the field for their first drive of the second half, and it'll start with about a pickup of 2 from Zyshawn Edwards. A quiet day at the office for the redshirt freshman. 10 carries for 19 yards. Edwards on the year, averaging about 5.8 yards a carry.
And coming into today, they knew that the Lumberjacks had to slow down Zyshawn. That's what they've been doing all in that first half.
Garcia under pressure, can't get out of it. Kai Thomas able to swallow up the Husky quarterback, and a man that is second in the Southland Conference in sacks a game, averaging half a sack a game, has one here this afternoon.
And Kai Thomas making his presence known. A lot of people on this SFA front line, they are getting to the quarterback, they are getting to Garcia. While he's been trying to stay in the pocket majority of the day, SFA continues to bring pressure.
3rd and 2 sticks. Garcia has to pass, throws it, and that's incomplete. Garcia just had to get rid of it. Nearly grabbing the interception was Williams. And a quick 3-and-out for the Husky offense.
Yeah, that was a dangerous throw. There was no Husky in the vicinity at all. Just getting rid of it and throwing it right to a defender, and that could have been an easy turnover for SFA.
Garcia already with 2 interceptions on the day. Brady Young to punt. Young's punt high, spiraling. It'll go out of bounds. And it looks like the Lumberjacks might start in HCU territory. We'll see the final spot. And it'll be the 45 of HCU where the Lumberjack offense will start when we return here on ESPN+. In everyone to Southland Conference football here on ESPN+. Lumberjacks with it in plus territory at the HCU 45 to start drive number 2 of the third quarter. Jenkins on the carry, and for a gain of 5, Zappi, the Husky, to wrap up.
Here you are, Stephen F. Austin. Big lead. Go ahead and continue to use the ground game in your favor right now.
Jenkins, a career high 29 carries against UT-RGV last week. It's primarily been Jarrell Wimbley for the Lumberjacks. Rutherford goes to the air, pass is caught in stride at the 30 by Bugs Mortimer, and plenty of yardage for a Lumberjack first down.
And Mortimer right here, nice route, as we can see with the pass from Rutherford, able to get in front and come down with it for another first down.
Lumberjacks continuing to drive. Jenkins finds a hole, breaks a tackle, wrapped up by Jaden King after a pickup of 11. SFA in the red zone. About 4.5 minutes left to play, or rather, 9.5 minutes. Not that much time has passed in the third quarter. Rutherford flips it to Wimbley. Wimbley able to get by the line of scrimmage before being wrapped down by Zappi again. After a pickup of 5, 2nd and 5. Coming up as it continues to be Wimbley and Jenkins in support. Wimbley with a rushing touchdown earlier in the ball game. Lumberjacks stick with the ground. Wembley wrapped up that time by Amari Deason, the former Lumberjack himself. Played at Stephen F. Austin prior to transferring to Navarro College to play JUCO ball. Wembley, direct snap, puts his head down and picks up the first down on 3rd and 2.
Not really truly expecting the tempo there. They were slowing everything down and then catch him off guard with that direct snap to Wembley yet again. I like they have that in their playbook.
Timeout on the field for an injured Lumberjack. It's the big left tackle, Robert Keller, who has been at Stephen F. Austin since the 2021 season. And it's rare these days you see someone stick at the same place for basically their whole career, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, in today's day and age of the transfer portal. Keller has been there since his freshman year and finally getting into the starting lineup consistently this year in the 2025 season.
If you like what the program is doing, you like the coaching personnel, you believe in what they have in store, yeah, you're right. In this day of age of college football, college athletics, you do get the transfer portal, but if you really truly like what you're doing there at the campus, you want to stay there.
Lumberjacks last year 7-5. Prior before that in 2023, 3-8. So Keller sticking with the Lumberjacks despite the records not being what they are this year. And this year, Stephen F. Austin really one of the top teams in the Southland Conference and looking to try to make some waves potentially in the FCS playoffs. JT Kitna back to quarterback. On the sweep is Jordan Neighbors. He'll pick up a few. Neighbors played at 18 games up in Waco for the Baylor Bears before transferring, call it northeast to Nacogdoches. Lumberjacks with an extra lineman in the game. Kitna keeps it himself right up the gut. Touchdown, Lumberjacks. JT Kitna getting his first rushing touchdown of the day, and he's hyped about it.
And as you can see, Kitna able to follow his blockers, pushing his way through. He almost had a rushing touchdown earlier, but it was just short. Didn't even get reviewed, but now he can put that as he's getting a lot of head pats on the sideline. Good for him.
Kitna with his first rushing touchdown of the season. Point after is up through the uprights and good. And with 7 minutes left in the third quarter, Stephen F. Austin leads at 36-3. Husky offense looking for answers when we return here on ESPN+.
Orthopedic care is shaped around you. And you. And you. Because customizing treatments and using breakthrough techniques is how your comeback starts. Like 3D printing for ultra-precise joint replacements and providing the same specialty care as we do for the Houston Rockets. So you return sooner, stronger, better. This is orthopedic care designed for you. Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care.
Do you enjoy college sports? The athletes, the excitement, the competition? Protect it. Don't lose the excitement of national competition. Don't jeopardize women's sports and Olympic sports. Make sure your favorite athletes continue to enjoy the many important benefits provided to them, and ensure that we preserve and standardize name, image, and likeness rights. Tell Congress to pass the SCORE Act at PassTheSCOREAct.com.
Our orthopedic care is shaped around you. And you. And you. Because customizing treatments and using breakthrough techniques is how your comeback starts. Like 3D printing for ultra-precise joint replacements and providing the same specialty care as we do for the Houston Rockets. So you return sooner, stronger, better. This is orthopedic care designed for you. Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care.
At Houston Christian University, I found friendship.
I found excellence. I found a community brought together by worship.
I found more than answers. I found wisdom.
I found truth and my true calling. In all we do here, we find God.
And a path to our future in all we do.
An 8-play, 45-yard drive spanning just under 4 minutes, ending in a JT Kitna rushing touchdown. And the Lumberjacks are continuing to pile it on. 7 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Lumberjack kickoff is sent high and deep, and Edwards will take it out of the back of his own end zone, clearly seeing something, and that might be a hole as Edwards is just shy of the 25-yard line before being wrapped up and hit out of bounds by Jacob Rokes. I think everyone in the stadium held their breath as to why Edwards took it out that far. Not the same yardage, 1 yard less than what would have been a touchback, but in the grand scheme of things, what's 1 yard to what has been going on for the Husky offense here today?
He was trying to see if he can get something going. He's been pretty much shut down out of the backfield. Runners want to run.
Edwards, not much of a chance to do that on offense. 1st and 10, and Edwards somehow able to squeak by for a few yards. The ball was snapped, and there was already a white jersey 5 yards deep in the backfield. 2nd and 8. Jackson, how did the Huskies get that one off?
Well, just that delayed handoff, as you can see coming off the edge. You see him coming in the backfield. Garcia and Zyshawn pretty much held on to it and then let the play develop and move.
2nd and 2, Edwards, and that is going nowhere. In on the stop for the Lumberjacks, along with many others. Kamard Kimball, a Houston native himself.
And the Jacks have pretty much been chopping up this entire run game. It's been non-existent for HCU today.
Huskies rushing offense just at 4 total yards. Garcia trying to set up a screen. Edwards, spin. Edwards unable to get out of the double team tackle. Mayo, one of the 2 Lumberjacks, and that one will bring up 4th down and another unsuccessful Husky drive.
And with this Husky offense, that's their sole identity has been relying on the run. And the Lumberjacks have continued, as you can see, all day today. Put a stop to it.
Brady Young, as he has been quite often, back in punt formation for the Huskies, as that one is blocked by the Lumberjacks. And that'll take a very impressive spin. And how about that to add insult to injury? Lumberjacks blocking a punt. They returned one earlier.
I think that was Cameron Kelly who was able to get the hand on it as the punt was about to happen.
Huskies, their first punt that was blocked, even though it went forward, they still have not had a punt blocked this season. And now the Lumberjacks with their best field position of the day inside plus territory of HCU at the Husky 34 on the near hash. Rutherford's still the quarterback. You got to wonder maybe when we'll see more of JT Kidna if the game progresses as is. Richard Reese off the left hip of Rutherford. Play action. Rutherford getting out of the first sack attempt, able to stiff arm TJ Smith. Gavin Rutherford inside the 25 to the 21. Houdini in the backfield. Rutherford, a first down run.
And that's been one of those things all day. If you had finally been able to put pressure on Rutherford, HCU unable to wrap up and finish. And then you see yet again broken tackles, broken tackles, broken tackles.
Huskies, a chance at 2 sacks in this game. They haven't got either of them. 7 total sacks for the Huskies on the season through their 9 total games played. And it's something that HCU has struggled with defensively. A defense that started the year very, very well, and a lot of things had started to maybe come around more as more teams get more film and get more used to what they might do, and that's one thing they've struggled with is sacking the quarterback. Rutherford wants end zone, has end zone, touchdown Lumberjacks. Isaiah Davis, touchdown number 2 on the day. And the Lumberjacks lead it 42-3.
No vid lag, no problem. Rutherford continuing to show his arm, play action. Most of the things you need to just talk about now, this late in the game, is how impressive this offensive line has been for SFA. They continue to protect and allow these routes to develop, allow Rutherford to look downfield, go through his progressions, and as you can see, nothing but dominance from this SFA offense.
Flag on the field from both line judges, near and far side. So this one will be a little bit farther for Carlos Alvarado. A false start on the Lumberjacks. 3-play, 34-yard drive taking up just 1 minute and 14 seconds off of the clock. Alvarado lines up the kick. Awaits the snap. Snap down, hold good on the way, and from 5 yards further back, no trouble for the redshirt sophomore out of Tomball, Texas. In Southland Conference games this season, the Lumberjacks have been dominant, as you mentioned, Jackson, scoring 30-plus points in every single game that they've played in. And this is the most that they have scored against a Southland Conference opponent. Oh, by the way, there's still a whole nother quarter to be played after this. The season high in points scored for Stephen F. Austin, 63 back in Week 3 against Sul Ross State. And that's a Division III program.
And not only that, they've been averaging 410 yards per game on offense. And it has been complete, utter dominance right now from SFA. And you're right, a quarter left. They can easily get close to those Sol Raw numbers against HCU.
Lumberjacks, a perfect 5-0 in Southland Conference play, and it looks to be a even 6-0 the way this game is going, as that'll be Jacob Hand just placing the ball on the turf. No tee, no holder, nothing. Is this an onside kick attempt? No, it's not. Just more of a line drive picked up by Wheeler, who will try to find a gap and will instead find the 30-yard line, which is where the Huskies will start 1st and 10. 3:36 left to play in the third quarter. And it continues to be an audition for Riley Garcia for not only the HCU starting quarterback job next season, but potentially for some other teams. Who knows who stays, who goes? You really don't know until the portal is open, and then that's when the chaos ensues. But Garcia trying to put his best foot forward. Edwards trying his best foot forward, and that foot taken way back by a lot of feet. Stephen F. Austin dominating the line of scrimmage on both ends of the ball.
Yeah, the battle of the trenches has been in favor of SFA all afternoon. Continuing to find their way in the backfield.
Victor Adosi, the third, the lead man there, and it seems like every time it's a different man on the line for the Lumberjacks. Garcia climbs the pocket and able to get right back to the line of scrimmage before being taken down from behind by Ed Bobineau the third. So it's Victor Adosi the second, now Bobineau the third. I think by that pattern, the next person has to be a fourth to make the tackle.
Yeah.
I believe that's how it goes. That's how patterns work.
Well, let me look through the roster. I'll call on. Nope, that's Michael Patterson the third. No, I don't see a fourth. We do not have a fourth.
The pattern will stop. Garcia taken down from behind for a sack. Lawote Jerkin, the next member to join the sack party for Stephen F. Austin. And it's all heads down for HCU coming off the field. And Riley Garcia visibly upset.
You can see the frustration. You are correct. He was hoping that he would have gotten at least a flag on that one, but they pulled him right there by his shoulder pad, got right on the shoulder. That would not be a horse collar if that's what he was thinking he was going to get.
And the last two plays, Garcia has had less than a second and a half to throw the ball away. Young's punt much better than the last. End-over-end kick. Fair caught inside the 45. Coming up to grab that one for the Lumberjacks was Stetson Surratt. 1:38 left to play in the third quarter. And Jackson, if you're Stephen F. Austin, are you trying to drain as much clock just to get out of here for purposes of injury? Or do you just do what you did last drive, score within a minute and a half?
I think that they're going to go ahead and try to get out of here because, as you can see, third-string quarterback JT Kitna is now in, and Rutherford's day is over, and not too bad for Rutherford. 11 for 16, 132 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a 69% completion percentage.
I'd say that's a successful day at the office for the backup Rutherford. Kitna wants to go deep, and that one is thrown out of bounds, but it'll draw a pass interference. Kitna was looking for the man that just caught the punt return, Surratt. No call yet from the officials, just sorting out all the finishing details, and it will in fact be a pass interference against HCU. That'll bring the ball all the way up to the 40 of the Huskies. And now we're seeing a lot of new players enter the fray for Stephen F. Austin, and some players maybe who haven't played a lot but are also very fresh legs compared to an HCU defense that has been on the field quite a lot here today. Kitna the give, the run from Reese for 2 yards.
And as you were saying, a lot of the fresh legs, well, time of possession was in favor of HCU earlier, but now it's starting to catch up, and SFA has clearly shifted the pendulum and have actually stayed on the field a whole lot longer on offense compared to what HCU was doing earlier.
And I think now you see Stephen F. Austin, who worked so quickly in the first really 2 2/3 of the quarter, now working a lot slower from the huddle, just really draining clock because they have their biggest game of the season next week at home against Lamar. Reese on a little bit of a counter wrapped up by TJ Smith after a pickup of 1. A redshirt freshman Smith getting a little bit more of an blown up roll due to Rodney Dansby going off in the second quarter. And also, this is someone that the Huskies are really excited about, a member of that 2024 class that was ranked number 1 in the Southland Conference by 247 Sports. He played in 10 games as a true freshman. Now in his second year, Smith looking to continue making an impact. 3rd and 7. Lumberjacks don't have to snap the ball, but they will. Reese taken down by the Turf Monster, as is a Husky, and Reese ushered out of bounds prior to the first down marker. And that'll do it for the third quarter, no matter what. We'll see what the flag is, and we'll tell you what the flag is after the break when we return here for Southland Conference football on ESPN+. Jack penalty, an illegal block in the back. Huskies decline the penalty to make it 4th and 5. And it'll be JT Kitna on the Lumberjack offense. The first 4th down try by either side here in the 4th quarter. 2 receivers, bottom of your screen. Kitna wants to throw a quick pass, is caught. Caleb King on the big hit. An even bigger catch by Aiden Meeks. And JT Kitna looking a little bit like his father, John Kitna, NFL journeyman quarterback with that throw. I don't think John Kitna ever ran an RPO, though, so a little bit of a different time.
Very much of a different time, but he actually is the head coach of the school where JT did did attend in high school. So therefore, you've been growing up with a quarterback father, NFL quarterback father, and he coaches you in high school. And now you're in college, and even though you can go with the change of times with your play calling styles.
Flag down on the field. Pickup of a few by Jenkins. We'll see what this call is now. 8 penalties against Stephen F. Austin now make it 9, 10 against HCU, and this officiating crew led by Craig Hessler has had their hands full here today. Backs the ball up 5 yards to the Husky 34.
Think they might need to ice their elbow later tonight with the
I think so, yeah. Might need to take a day off from doing the reps of false start, pass interference, Just take a couple days off. Backup offensive line in the game for Stephen F. Austin as well, and looks like they might false start again. So both O-lines, starters and backups, not having the cleanest day at the office, and going to be a hard week in the film room for the Husky and the Lumberjack O-line. A lot to clean up.
Especially if you're SFA and you have Lamar on the docket next week.
Lamar taking on Southeastern in a battle really for second place in the Southland Conference. A reminder, Stephen F. Austin will not play Southeastern this year, the one Southland team. They will not play. Jenkins right up the middle, nearly had a gap, able to bust through more before being tackled by King and Zaytique McGee. And that makes it second and a lot more manageable after a pickup of 12 from Jenkins.
A nice run here, as you can see, able to find an easy hole, plow his way through, and this has been all SFA. Momentum keeping it in their favor.
Kitna looks at his receivers. Looks deep, has a man wide open in the end zone. Jordan Neighbors. An easy pitch and catch. And the Lumberjacks are a point after away from a 50-burger.
Busted coverage, wide open, as you can see. Yeah, Neighbors, no one around him as he gets into the end zone, but Kitna got one on the ground, now has one in the air.
The 7th touchdown for Stephen F. Austin here this afternoon, and the first passing touchdown of the season for JT Kitna. Point after try is good. A 6-play, 55-yard drive taking up 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Huskies continuing to trail as when we return here for Southland Conference football on ESPN+.
Welcome to Casati Pines at Coshada, nestled in the natural wetlands of southwest Louisiana on 65 acres of looking glass lakes, surrounded by stately pines and live oaks. It's an experience unlike any other. A challenging 18-hole par 72 championship course, 6 sets of tees, and a unique 19th tiebreaker hole. Ranked the 18th best golf course in the USA by Golf Advisor. Casati Pines at Coshada in Kinder, Louisiana. Louisiana's best bet.
Thanks for getting these sub bowls.
Of course, no problem, big bro. Let's eat.
Danny DeVito? What did you do with our uncle?
Well, that doesn't matter. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's. What matters most are these sub bowls.
Wait, has Danny DeVito been my brother my whole life?
I guess so. Don't tell Mom. Your favorite sub, hot or cold in a bowl. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Our orthopedic care is shaped around you. And you. and you. Because customizing treatments and using breakthrough techniques is how your comeback starts. Like 3D printing for ultra-precise joint replacements and providing the same specialty care as we do for the Houston Rockets. So you return sooner, stronger, better. This is orthopedic care designed for you. Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care.
At Houston Christian University, I found friendship.
I found excellence. I found a community brought together by worship.
I found more than answers. I found wisdom.
I found truth and my true calling. In all we do here, we find God.
And a path to our future in all we do.
Welcome back, everyone. Fourth quarter, Lumberjacks lead it 50-3 with under 13 minutes left in the ball game. And what has been a one-sided affair for really the entire game since the first series. After HCU went 3 and out, it was the Lumberjacks that returned the punt. Bugs Mortimer got the Lumberjacks on the board, and since then, it has been all Lumberjacks here today. See a little bit of rotation in the Stephen F. Austin defense. Riley Garcia still out to quarterback the Huskies. Two receivers, top and bottom. Garcia throws a quick pass, is caught near the 30 and making an appearance, Adrian Green. Green, 0 catches since week 6 at UTRGV. And the redshirt senior able to get a grab here in the fourth quarter.
One thing that they've been doing today on the offensive side of things is they've been balancing, spreading the ball around.
Big collision there after the DJ Evans run of a few. Michael Woods in on the fray for the Lumberjacks. 3rd and 4. Lumberjacks bring the pressure. Garcia going back in the pocket, has to throw it away and out of bounds, incomplete. Deacon Stanfield, the closest blue jersey to it. And now, I mean, Jackson, do you punt it? Do you go for it? What do you do here if you're HCU and they'll decide to punt? Do you agree with it?
This late in the game, I would have at least tried to see a little bit of aggression, try to see if you have faith in your offense to try and convert here. I understand that they haven't been as successful on 3rd down, and that could probably go back and carry over on going forward on 4th down.
Young's rugby punt high, deep, and fair caught at the 25 by Surratt. When we return, Lumberjack offense continues their dominance here on ESPN+. looking to continue their offensive dominance. Trent Zappi wrapping up and getting his first carry of the game. Braden Lewis, redshirt freshman out of Dangerfield, Texas. Carry of 3 as near side line judge waving his hands. And it was to wind the clock. Clock had stopped, and now we'll wind. And really, you see the Lumberjacks, no rush, in a basically full-on huddle, taking the play clock to at least under 5 before snapping in. They snap it at 5. Lewis able to find a crease and get forward for a first down. Redshirt freshman looking to make the best of his time here in the fourth quarter. Lewis coming into today's game, 18 carries, 109 yards, no touchdowns. So Lewis potentially looking for his first touchdown of the year.
And you can see the fatigue finally setting right here for this Husky defense. You let a fresh back come in, have a big run right there, and it's going to be a hard battle for the rest of this, for the remainder of this game for the Huskies.
Flag flies, false start on the Lumberjacks.
Full offense, 5-yard penalty. Down.
Flag on Chimdia Wiwu for Stephen F. Austin. Wiwu playing in every game this season, with the exception of the Lumberjacks' Week 2 clash against Abilene Christian. And if this result holds, it would be the longest Lumberjack winning streak, 8 games since 1989. Lewis picks up a few. It's the first time as well that the Lumberjacks played in the afternoon. All previous games were either at 6 p.m. or later for the Lumberjacks, and something that Colby Carthel really wasn't too worried about coming in, and you see why, winning by 47 with 9 minutes left to play in the game, and no sign of the clock really stopping at any time. High snap. Lewis on the carry. Finds a seam, breaks a tackle before being wrapped up by Xavier Tolliver and a couple friends. Bring up 3rd and very doable from Stephen F. Austin 45. They need their own 49 for a first down, 3rd and 4. Kitna looking, pass is incomplete. He's looking for his target, Aiden Meeks. They'll bring up 4th and 4, and feels like the first time in some time that the Lumberjacks are punting it away to HCU.
Not only that, the first time in a while we've actually seen pressure from the Huskies defense getting to a quarterback, as you saw that throw from Kitna as he was getting hit as he threw.
Pfeiffer, the return man, had a decent return earlier in the game. I'll get another shot. Spiraling punt, Pfeiffer letting it bounce, and that'll roll all the way to the HCU 11. Pozoban now his 14th punt inside the 20 on the season. Huskies trying to look for anything when we return here on ESPN+. One offense on the field with 8 minutes and 10 seconds left. Edwards patient in the backfield, and it only nets him a carry of 1. There's now a chance, if you're a backup on this very loaded Stephen F. Austin defense, it's a chance for you to really show that you can step up when one of the big names on this D-line or linebacking core leave, or, like we mentioned earlier, maybe put out some audition tape to go be a starter somewhere else. Garcia under pressure goes down at the 5.
There's someone who's going to be looking to get some audition tape. It's Kamard Kimball in on the sack.
Huskies backed up to their own 5. And just one thing after another for HCU. This time another sack allowed by the HCU offensive line. It's the 5th time that the Lumberjacks have gotten to Garcia, as Edwards able to pick up a run of 10, we'll call it 12 yards, the first time that Zyshawn Edwards has had a run greater than 10 yards. Really rough day at the office for Edwards, averaging just over 1 yard a carry. That's really all that Stephen F. Austin has been giving him. And another drive that could end in a 3-and-out.
Taking their time. It's 4th down. Kind of curious with the play clock.
Jason Bechtel calling timeout.
Timeout. Christian, first charge of the half, 30 seconds.
So the first timeout called by either team here in the second half. 6 minutes, 12 seconds on the clock. And was that just a timeout to take some more time off the clock before we have to punt?
Possibly. I'm surprised that we didn't see the punt team come out, but everyone on offense, I think, are trying to plead their case to go for it. But now, as you see, the punt team is trotting their way on the field.
Brady Young will go out to punt it for the 9th time here in this ball game, averaging about 40 yards a punt here today, and that one goes for more than 40. Fair caught by Surratt. The Lumberjacks will take over 1st and 10 from their own 35. You do see a couple of rotational players getting in the game for HCU, and it looks like we might have another quarterback entering the fray for Stephen F. Austin. Bryson Broadway, a freshman out of Magnolia, Texas. So the Lumberjacks all the way down at QB4, letting their true freshman take a couple of snaps in a Southland Conference game. Running is Lewis, and he'll pick up 4. Not often you see a true freshman play at quarterback in really any spectrum of the imagination, and this is the first time that Broadway has seen the field this season. Kitna had seen the field a little bit in past games for Stephen F. Austin, but in very limited action. High snap, Broadway falling on it. It'll only go down as a loss of 2, but Stephen F. Austin holding their breath regardless, because if you're HCU, you fall on that, you maybe are able to score a touchdown or maybe make the score look a little bit more respectable.
A little bit more respectable, I agree. Just doing a little bit of checking in. So looking at Broadway, Magnolia West prospect, just let's say Magnolia is about an hour and a half north of us over here.
Yeah, I think it's about an hour, yeah. Straight shot up the tollway.
You can probably take 45 and then hit 1488.
Or that, yeah, it's true. Flag flies. False start Lumberjacks.
False start. 75.
That'll be the 12th penalty against the Lumberjacks. We now have 12 penalties for 83 yards. HCU 10 penalties for 72 yards. Huskies very much getting the penalties cleaned up in the second quarter and then on. Maybe too little, too late. On third down, Broadway going to the air. Pass is nearly intercepted in front of the Stephen F. Austin sideline. DJ Roberts, the closest Husky to it, and the Lumberjacks will punt.
Might just be a little bit of a back and forth later in the game with 3 and out to 3 and out, punt to punt.
I think fans at the University of Iowa would be cheering us on right now. In the words of Drew Allen, punts.
I get that reference. You just
shout out Drew Allen on TikTok. Great content creator. If you don't know him, go check him out on TikTok.
We're the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, I hear that one quite often from my friends. As the Lumberjacks take a delay a game, so add another penalty and 5 yards into that column. Back the ball all the way up to the Lumberjack 27. High spiraling kick from Pazaban. Pfeiffer takes it up for about 5. Out to around the 30. Another chance for HCU to show something on offense as there's an injured Husky down on the field inside the 30 with just under 4 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. And that's exactly why in games such as this, it's dangerous to keep it going for an injury or a potential serious injury that could occur. Wasn't able to get a number before medical staff came over to surround the player. HCU defensive coach is going to check on the Husky down as Riley Garcia, a tough day at the office, 11 of 18, 118 yards, 2 interceptions, completing 61% of his passes. And he'll have a chance to maybe complete a few more as we take a look at the HCU player injured, and it's Jordan Roberts getting rolled up on. And that's not what you want to see. Jordan Rogers able to walk off, but it's exactly a play like that you're trying to avoid in a game like this. Someone getting rolled up on, thrown into, hurting their ankle, their Achilles, knee, or even a concussion maybe as well.
While he's limping a little bit off the field, you can see that he's in full power, so that's a good thing. Hopefully just shake it off and be able to come back out here later in the game, but you always like to see whenever a player gets able to walk off on their own power.
Garcia firing it, pass caught by Pfeiffer. In stride for a first down, and how about that for a pitch and catch from Garcia to Pfeiffer?
Not a lot of time after the snap, but able to get the quick play action throw on the slant.
Evans now will take it forward for a pickup of 2. As Lumberjacks making the Huskies work for every yard that they possibly can. But a good throw by Garcia in this situation, even though you know the game's out of hand, still fighting. You want to see that fight from your quarterback as he goes to the air once again and is taken down from behind. Next to join the sack party is Daniel Ania, a Cisco College transfer. Everyone's joining the sack parade for Stephen F. Austin, their 6th sack of the afternoon.
And while I know that Southeastern is leading the Southland in sacks, SFA is trying to get in on it.
Evans, a pickup of 2, 4th down and 10. Huskies can let it go down to the 2-minute warning if they want to preserve bodies, preserve potential health, and I think that's exactly what they will do. Let the final 17 seconds tick off the clock here at Husky Stadium. Both sides just kind of awaiting the inevitable. Final seconds will tick off, and we will head to the 2-minute warning here for Southland Conference football
2 minute
on ESPN Plus. Final 2 minutes when we return. Don't go anywhere, folks. Out to punt, as they have done very much today. Young's kick taking a funny spiral, but taking a very good HCU bounce inside the 10 and eventually down at the 7-yard line by Kyle Kuntz. The Lumberjacks, the team that gets the honor to waste the final minute and 47 seconds left of this game. Jackson, going forward for the Huskies, it's going to be tough sledding, so we'll talk about Stephen F. Austin. What did you see from this game that says this team can not only win the Southland Conference, but maybe make some noise in the playoffs?
Well, obviously their defense, they've had a phenomenal defensive showing up, but roster depth. We've seen so many other players come in and actually be productive, whether it be a second-string quarterback, third-string quarterback, second-string running back. It's the talent that they have on this roster, and if you have a nice deep roster, you can pretty much have a nice run of the Southland from here on out.
Lewis picks up 8 to make it 2nd and 2. And as you mentioned, it seemed like just about every defensive lineman that has gotten in today has either gotten a quarterback hurry or gotten a sack. As Lewis will show off a little bit of vision and break a tackle. Braden Lewis down the sideline, past midfield into HCU territory. Flag is down back at the Stephen F. Austin 32. So this one might be coming back, but Braden Lewis not quite done playing football yet.
Not at all. That's what I'm saying. They have good roster depth. What has been happening late in the game, next man up mentality, I want to show and put some tape to support I have anything that I can do here.
Holding. 85. 10-yard penalty. Spot the foul. First down.
The holding's going to be on to Eric Tate,
first down.
a sophomore wide receiver out of Gilmer, Texas.
That's going to be the thing they're going to need to clean up for next week against Lamar. You have to get the penalties down. I know that that's what their 14th penalty of the day.
Yep.
That'll put them close to 100 yards.
14 penalties, 93 yards for Stephen F. Austin here in today's contest. Lewis back to the ground, spinning, keeping his feet before being wrapped up by Josiah Stroud and Christian Ray. Lumberjacks just needing to run one more play, whether that's a run, whether that's a knee, and the score looking ever so more and more final here from Husky Stadium. It'll be the Lumberjacks taking away their 8th win of the year in grand fashion, 50-3. Lewis wants something to say about it. He won't go anywhere. Wrapped up by Khalil Pert. Final seconds will tick off. Teams off their sideline, and that's a final 50-3 from Husky Stadium. Jackson, any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Right now, SFA's shown why they want to win the Southland right now, and coming up here, actually coming down here to Houston Christian and getting it done on the road. Can't wait to see what they have in store for Lamar next week.
As Jackson just mentioned, Lumberjacks will take on the Cardinals next week from Nacogdoches. 6 p.m. kickoff for the Huskies there on the road, taking on East Texas A&M in Commerce. Kickoff 4 p.m. for that game. But for myself, Nicholas Petrisky, Jackson Cochran, and everyone in our truck saying so long from Husky Stadium. The final score, HCU 3, Stephen F. Austin 50 on homecoming. Thank you so much, folks, for tuning in. All games airing on ESPN Plus are archived in the ESPN app and properties of ESPN. Thank you so much, folks. Have yourself a great night.